Go. Let's go. So nimeona kuna mtu ametuma question. I've already seen someone has sent a question on this phone. Anauliza how to overcome daddy issues. So let's talk about that. So what is daddy issues? Tuanzie hapo. So tutumie Google. Let's use Google. Define daddy issues. Inasema, what are daddy issues? Daddy issues are adult challenges that can result from one of two likely past experiences. Either growing up with an absent father or having an abnormal or poor relationship with the father who was physically present. The resulting psychological challenges can manifest in several ways. So we are looking at daddy issues. And according to Google, inasema these are adult challenges, so you only get to see these challenges when you are an adult, and they are resulting from one or two likely past experiences. This is something that is haunting you from the past. Inasema either growing up with an absent father or having an abnormal or poor relationship with a father who was physically present. So maybe your daddy was there at home when you were growing up with your mom. Okay? He was there all along. He was present. He used to come at home, wake you up, and awapea sweetie, ama sweetie, whatever. But he was providing. But just because your father was at home doesn't mean you had a relationship with him. So now, as an adult, you are challenged now. Okay? You have a challenge because there's something that was missing. I won't go too deep into what it's saying, what are the signs of daddy issues, but let's just say them. So they are saying that some of the signs that you have daddy issues, that you are interested in older, men who are much older than you. Maybe your father passed on when you were younger. So you are clingy, possessive, and protective. You constantly attract abusive partners. You don't want to be alone. You seem to crave a lot of sex. The abusive and violent father. You like the emotionally unavailable father. You constantly demand the assurance of love. So those are some of the things Google inakwambia about daddy issues. Now, on this channel we don't ponder. We like talking about the real issues. So now, we like talking, so Google is talking. They tell you about all the symptoms, all the things to do with daddy issues. But then when you come to this page, we like finding solutions. So the question is, how to overcome daddy issues? Take your pens now, class in session. 1, because you can also help someone. You can also share this with someone. You can share the live for someone else to learn. I know you have a lot of friends who have daddy issues. So this is a good life to share so that someone else can also understand how to overcome daddy issues. These are things that you're not going to find in any books. These are things that your church is not going to talk about. These are things that your government is not going to handle. Your women representatives and your fake leaders, they don't handle the real issues on the ground. Na hizi ndio zile vitu zinatukula. These are the things that are resulting in single parent families. Hii ndio inatusumbua na single mothers. Hii ndio inasumbua a lot of your mothers wakiwa huko juu. Okay? Because they never learned how to overcome these daddy issues. So this is a good life to share with people so that they can understand. So first of all, as the lady now who has daddy issues, you have to put yourself in a situation whereby now you are separate from how your father made you feel. So the first thing you do, you have to sit down and see and write down, what does your father make you feel? Remember, we are doing shadow work. A lot of people don't like doing shadow work, but for you to heal, you need to do shadow work. So you have to sit down and write, How did your father make you feel? Did your father make you feel safe? Like when your father was coming home, mukisikia gate, were you excited? Dad is home. Or were you scared? Ukisikia tu mlango, poop, you're like, fuck, mama tapigwa. Or you're like, shit, sijafanya homework. So you have to start, this is now shadow work 101. Daddy issues shadow work 101. Tumeanza sasa. Class in session. You put yourself in a situation where you separate how your father made you feel. Unaanza kuandika. Did my father make me feel happy? Did my father make me feel safe? Did my father make me feel secured? Did my father make me feel protected? If we had a school trip, would my father be happy? Would they give me, like now, write that down. I was scared. You went to bed hungry. Now this is how you start writing. Now, and it's okay if you feel like crying, because at the end of this video, some of you may cry. It's okay. I love all of you. Okay, we are doing this together. So you write it down. How did your father make you feel? Safe? Unsafe? Did your father molest you? Most of my clients, the women that I deal with, most of my clients have been molested by their fathers. They actually didn't even have sex with them, but the girls can swear their father almost had sex with them. They could tell how their fathers were looking at them. Their fathers were making them feel shy. A lot of you had your fathers touching you. A lot of you had your fathers touching you. And this was your father. A lot of you had your fathers holding them in your laps. Your fathers were taking your small girls, holding you in their laps, and you could feel that they were sexually excited. And you are scared to tell your mother because your mother was scared about your father. Or maybe even your mother knew this, but she never said anything. So now we are doing shadow work. Like I said, you can share the live. You have 50 people watching. All you have to do is share the live. There's no shame in healing. Most of you don't like healing. There's no shame in healing. You are thinking, oh, nikianza kushare ile hivi watu watajua niko na daddy issues. We have to solve the problems that we have. How to overcome daddy issues. First, put yourself in a situation where you are separating how your father made you feel. Write it down. This is the only way you can heal. Okay? My dad provided financial, but he was emotionally unavailable and fighting. Yes, write that fear. I was afraid of my father. Because this is the only way you're now going to heal. Now, once you have written down all that thing, if he made you feel fear, if he made you feel unsafe, okay, you have to understand that this is an energy that you need to be separated from so that you do not participate in the same energy with other males. AKA, when you write down those fears, how your father made you feel, you need to separate from that energy, because once now you see it, you have to separate from that energy. That way, you don't participate in the same energy with other males, whereby you had daddy issues and now you're stuck in a relationship that you are being abused, and the only reason you are being abused by your hubby now is because you feared your father. And this man is making you fear him. So you fear your current husband. So this fear is an attachment that you have of fearing men that you brought from your father. It's a daddy issue. But since women or girls will always look as their fathers like hero, hata akiabusiwa, you allow the man you are living with now, again, to put you in fear. Because the more you are in a situation of feeling how your dad made you feel, the more you are going to manifest those same characters in your life. A lot of people don't like doing shadow work because it is work. So you have to separate from that feeling. But to find that feeling, you have to write it down first. Write down those feelings, how your fathers made you feel. Write those feelings down, because you know, as an adult right now, you already know how your father made you feel. As an adult right now, you already know how your father makes you feel. Hata saa hizi, you know how he makes you feel. Because the moment you separate from that feeling, okay, the more you are going to be more open to new people in your life who come in. All you have to do is to stop being scared. Don't be scared of stepping into the unknown. And that unknown is that which you don't know, because you didn't have it when you were growing up. So the first thing you do, you write down. If you don't write down, put yourself in a situation where you separate yourself from how your father made you feel. if your father made you feel fearful or weak, if you meet a man, a boyfriend, and at one point, just one point, he makes you feel lesser or weak, like you're not worthy, like you have fear, understand that you have daddy issues, and immediately cut that relationship. Hata usijaribu kusema ati maybe, cut it off. Because remember, we observe the world through filters of what we can call previously encountered emotions and feelings. So we look at the world through filters, rose-colored glasses of the emotions and feelings we experienced in the past. And this is very hard to get out of. This is very hard. This is why they call it shadow work. That is why it's called shadow work, because it's work. And people don't like working. Okay? I'll give you a tip. If you have children, it's important to program your children, okay, to start doing things that they never did before, like driving. So they start seeing the world in a very different way. Okay? Did you get that? So your children start being comfortable with the uncomfortable. I'll give you an example. My youngest daughter is 8 years old. She drives when I'm with her. She'll sit on me, on my lap, because she cannot reach everything, but I allow her to drive with no fear. When I'm taking her to school, she rides outside the window. Anakaanga nje ya dirisha, anajishikilia as long as hatujafika kwa lami. And the neighbors walikuwa wamezoea wakiona wananisimamisha waniambia, ambia mtoto aingize kichwa. I'm like, mind your own business. So now they have gotten used to it. So my child now is confident in life that my father got my back. If my father is okay with this, I am okay and I should be okay. And whatever the people think, it doesn't matter. I'm giving you a tip. So if you have children, it's important to program your children right now to start doing things that you never did. You never did those things. My child is driving. My youngest daughter is driving because I never got to drive. We had 5 cars at home. If you go to my father's compound right now, kuna gari tano. Right now in my father's compound, we have 5 cars. I never got to drive any of my father. The day I drove my father's car was war. My mom was beaten up. I was beaten up. My dad took all the keys, hid all the keys, na vitu kama hizo. So though we had the cars, I had to learn driving by my own way. My father allowed, because now I've been driving for the last 10 years. So my father was, sasa hakuwa na, otherwise I bought a car. I'm coming home with the car. So kwa hivyo kumbeba haikuwa shida. Okay? And this is how you do shadow work. The things that you are not allowed to do when you are growing up, let your children do those things. Stop suppressing your children. Because when you are grown up and you truly do your shadow work and you look at the things that are affecting you now, those things look like your parents having no confidence in you when you are growing up. And shout out to Boniface Mwangi, anakujanga kwa hiyo channel yake, nasikianga kwa channel yake anaonyeshanga wasichana wake wakidrive na wakifanya hivyo. That is how you should do it. Let your children go do mountain climbing and all these extreme things like the white people do. Nyinyi mnaonanga wazungu mnasema, "Aki mtoto wazungu anakuanga vizuri, mbona amlei watoto wenyu hivyo?" What is stopping you? Ama ni bora uhai, ama bora kanisa again. And like I said, I have no problem with the church. The church is very necessary for people who cannot think for themselves or people who need that kind of, who are weak. So they need to go somewhere to feel like they are getting a solution. So I have no problem with the church. The church is very necessary. It serves its own thing. Not everyone is strong enough. So shout out to the church also. Okay? So, don't show your children the negative side. Let them be always on the positive side. Shadow work, one-on-one. Overcoming daddy issues. Write down everything your daddy made you feel. Iandike yote. Na ukishaiandika, now every day try and separate from that feeling. If your daddy made you fearful, everyone who puts you in fear today, leo, if you encounter someone akikuweka kwa uoga, don't indulge with them. Understand that that is the only way you are going to overcome those daddy issues, so that you don't repeat them in the generation that you are healing now. Because a generation is birthed. To heal a generation has to be through birth, epigenetics. Heal your children, so that even if you are going to reincarnate into this world, for those who are going to reincarnate, you reincarnate into healed children. Give the best to your children if you can. Stop practicing those old ways. Ati unapeleka mtoto wako public school na unaweza mpeleka private kwa sababu unataka kufit into the society, ama shosho yako ama babu yako anakuambia unawagithomeire private, unawagithomeire public. Hiyo ni yao. Look at you now. Change those narratives. Let's heal as a collective. Because a healed nation is the only way you are going to stop with all this crying of reparations of we were children of Mau Mau, we were children of slaves. No. You are all beautiful people. Stop accepting people telling you that you're not beautiful. Stop accepting people telling you how to live your lives. Stop accepting people you know it's not right, but you're doing it as a collective, mass collectiveness. Kila kitu inaanza na wewe. We live in this world as a collective, yes. God is a respecter of teamwork, but look for the right team. People who are willing to change and to heal. Shout out to the heart. For a moment there, I looked like I was riding a bull, bodacious. Sasa, someone has sent a request, and since this is Love and Appreciation Friday, we can and hear what they have to say. Sasa, shout out to you. Go ahead, you're live.
No, I just nilikuwa na hapa ukiongea vitu zingine sijaiona mwanaume akiongea kwa hii dunia. Sijui sikuwa najua Wakenya wanajua hizi vitu, especially wanaume. Guys, so umewekwa mbali, unafaa kuwa the head. Unafaa kuwa huko mbele kufundisha hao watu hizi vitu. I'm so surprised. Nimekaa tu hapa najiuliza sasa, I was supposed to go and sleep. Something told me to keep scrolling. And then nimesema wow, huyu ni Mkenya naongea hizi vitu, kumbe zina exist. Mungu ni mwema. God is good. God is good, eh?
All the time.
Yeah, hopefully hizi vitu nasema zitaendelea kuvibrate, zitagonga hao watu nafaa kugongwa nazo, especially wakisikia mtu anaongea Swahili anaongea hizi vitu, I think watasikiza.
Yeah, you put the energy out there, and then ukisha put the energy out there, you leave it to God. You know, our people, we love them, watu wetu, but they will not take any message that comes from people who look like them. But it is what it is. They have been victimized for so long that they don't believe in any solution. They believe any solution has to come from heaven or something with wings na vitu kama hizo, and we can't force them. Yeah, so thank you for your feedback.
Aya, mi nimefurahi. Hata nilikuwa najiuliza kwa nini siendi kulala and niko kazi kesho, but I'm glad nimekaa tu just long enough nipate page yako. Because sasa najua nikitaka kuongelesha mabeste zangu tu nitakuwa natumia video zako, mi sitaongea.
That's a beautiful thing. You can send them to my YouTube page. I have a YouTube page. So my YouTube page has the same name, Jega Mudaka. So there's more content on the YouTube. It's right there on my bio. On my bio, I think there's a link tree for more on such kind of videos.
Okay, sawa. So swali yangu sasa itakuwa tu moja. Where do you source your where did you start sourcing your information from when you started learning the things that you're talking about?
I would say that I'm self-taught. I would say that the best way to learn this thing is to just observe. Like social experiment, you just observe, and then so even when you find it now somewhere, you are just confirming. I have a lot of books that I have not even read because mi hufungua kitabu na kutaile kitu iko kwa kitabu nikisoma. So I write books actually. Instead of reading books, I write books.
Wow. Sijui ni nini inaendelea. Somehow my phone has given you an echo. Sijui ni nini inaendelea. Somehow my phone has given you an echo. Sijui ni nini inaendelea. Somehow my phone has given you an echo. Sijui ni nini inaendelea. Somehow my phone has given you an echo. Sijui ni nini inaendelea. Somehow my phone has given you an echo. Wow. Unanisikia?
Sorry about that. Tulikuwa na kusikia, but the echo was too much. Like we said, the algorithm for TikTok has already been compromised. So hata ukikuja live, kama ni live inasaidia watu, they have to compromise the live. So sorry about that. Nime disconnect from my side kwa sababu you are being whatever was happening. But shout out to you. Thank you for your contribution. Each one teach one. Someone is saying my dad provided but was never here for us. Hata shule hakukuja. Hakujua nisomea wapi. Yeah, so you have to, those are daddy issues that you need to heal from, because now when you're in a relationship and you find that the same husband or your spouse, mkisema muende kutota mtoto shule ya muonangi, unajua tunaenda shule, awe ndi utaendanga, sinajua niwenanga shule. So you manifested the same thing that you went through. Okay? You manifested the same thing. So you have to heal from these things. They'll always come up with excuses. My dad is everything, but the father of my son made me hate myself for what he was doing to his son, you see? Yeah, so heal from these daddy issues. Jonte is another problem. Si lazima mtu aende shule. It happens that we have what we call the world view. So remember, we have what we call the world, or what you call Earth, the planet, Tiamat, Gaia, whatever you want to call it. But we also have the world view, which is how you view the world. So their world view, you need to have papers. They are schools. Remember, they are schools. Remember, it's not God who came up with this curriculum. It's men like you and me who sit down and design a curriculum. Okay? It's not even right. Who said it's right? It's them who make it right, because it's their exams. It's what they have said. It's not that you are being tested against God or a system. You are being tested against men who make these things important. They are not important, but they make them important. So understand that the world view is through their 5 pillars: business, education, entertainment, religion, and sports. So everything has to go through those pillars. So they reward you. They decide how to decide or how to design the sports for you. Your sports, Africans are not important. Their sports are. They are high jumps. Your sports are not important. Your games are not important. You have no games as Africans. It has to be their Olympics. It has to be their marathons. You have none. You have nothing. It's their business. You don't have money. It's their money. It's their World Bank. It's their digital currency. Again, Africans, you don't have a money. You don't even have your own bank. African bank is not yours. The money is still theirs. It's still their dollars. You don't have your own music. It's still their top 50 UK. It's still their top 10. It's still their. You don't have African music, proper African music that is just top, like percussions. You have not created anything for yourself. You don't have a single government in Africa, because it is their politics, their multipartism, their diplomats and everything. All governments in Africa are designed under their governments. So when you understand that, then when you meet someone and they ask you a question, they say, "Hii kitu umesoma wapi?" You understand that it's not our fault to ask people like that. It's because we think everything you have to read from somewhere. But then the question should be, wenye wanakufunza wao walisomeshwa na nani? Walisoma kwa Mungu ama walisoma wapi? All they did is that they went outside and sat down and received that information. Sasa. So it's a good question, but you also have to understand how it comes. It's talking about it with someone counter shadow work. Yes. It's talking with someone about an issue is shadow work, because you're acknowledging it. Okay? Yeah. My spouse and I never experienced that daddy relationship. So you can create it now. If you didn't have it, now with your spouse, you can decide to be the best parents to your children. Okay? Don't punish your children. You can raise children without punishing them. It's doable. My youngest daughter is 8 years old. Sijai hata mpinch. Not even once. Mamake ajai hata mpinch. And she's the most well-behaved child in school. Obedient and everything. Ajai chapwa, ajui kuchapwa ni nini. All her life. And she's not spoiled. Because you can raise children without beating them up. The Bible telling you spare the poor, that is not the meaning. Spare the child and spare the rod and spoil the child in the Bible means, what is a rod? A rod is a staff, a stick, logic, a thought. So spare a logic, spare a thought, and spoil the child. What is a child? A child is considered a descended thought or feeling. So if you have a descended thought or feeling that is misleading you, if you don't use logic, if you don't use thought to watch out for that descended feeling or thought that is coming your way, you are going to be spoiled. The Bible is coded. It's allegory. But when you give it to the Africans, now they are beating their children to death. Akisema ati kiboko. Africans never used to beat their children. I repeat this. Before the conversion of Christianity, there's no African culture that used to beat their children. Mtoto akikosea alikuwa anapelekwa kwa village, watu wote wanamzunguka, and they would used to do affirmations on the child, telling the child how great they are, hata kama amekosea. They would go around the child and tell them, you are beautiful, we care about you, you belong to this family, you belong to this community, you are an amazing child, you did something wrong, we love you as a community. That is what Africans used to do. We never punished children. Punishment came with the Bible and the white people. When people, because in up we have what you call the yin and yang. So we also had the spoiled rotten apples in the community. They used to be banished, not beaten. We used to banish people. The whole village would come and swear, like cast a spell on you and say, we are banishing you from our village. May you never come back to this. And it was so painful that the person who was banished would go and end up getting eaten by wild animals, or they would totally never come back to that village. We never used to punish people. So when you are reading the Bible, when you are beating your children up, all this corporal punishment, remember you are converted. Christianity inakuanga vizuri sana. You are converting to Christianity. What is to convert? When you convert, you are changing from everything you know. Define to convert. So to convert is to change, is to transform, is to turn, is to translate, is to adapt, is to remodel, is to remold. So you are molded, you are remolded. You had better models in your families na vitu kama hizo. So learn life, okay? Learn the real life before you even jump into these things. Understand that you have the wrong starting points on a lot of things. That way you are going to raise healed generations and better people. One day my daughter went to school and one of the teachers akamtishia na ruler. So my daughter akakuja nyumbani akasema, you know, the teacher said she was going to beat us with a ruler. Nilienda shule. Called the teacher and kamwambia, let me tell you something. She has never been threatened. Ajai chapwa even one day. Ajui kuchapwa ni nini. So I don't want you as a teacher, a stranger, ukuendi unamtishia unamwambia tutampa. Kama kona shida. Kama kona shida. Call me to school. Call her to uniambie akufanya hivi na hivi. Basi ufikie venye unatishia the whole class ndio utamtishia. Went all the way to the top of the management and everything. They were shocked. The teacher akaambiwa, na mbona ulikuwa unatisha watoto? Akasema, and then I even asked, so you have been punishing children in school? Have you been punishing children? Akasema, hujakuwa tukipunish nini. And then we changed her from that school. Sasa, be your children's heroes first. Mtoto wako akikuja nyumbani, akikwambia iliseme, before you even side with any other person, you should be for your child first. Defend your children first. Kuku akiwa pale na vifaranga, mwewe ajaribu kuchukua vifaranga. Kuku angaliangi ati hii kifaranga ilikuwa imeenda huko mbali na mimi. the first thing is fight to the death na hiyo mwewe to protect the children. Protect your children at all costs. Those are your descendant thoughts and feelings. Do it like the white people do. Defend your children to your last breath. That's how you heal a generation. Don't just give children birth to children amna watupa huko nje and you're expecting to change. Repeating generational curses. Hiyo tumekataa. Ni sasa. Overthinking and overthinkers. Think about yourself like this. You are swimming in thoughts. Every day, you are swimming in thoughts and feelings. Every day you're into the world, you are swimming in a world of thoughts and feelings. So, if those thoughts and feelings have got nothing to do with you, realize they don't belong to you. So when you say you're an overthinker, you are taking in too many thoughts and feelings that have got nothing to do with you. Learn your passion and purpose in life and do everything towards that goal and participate in the world. There are some things that you have no hata kujua hazikusaidii. That is why you guys, when you watch the news, it's so toxic. You don't need to know of a car that crashed in Mutito Wandei. Well, uko Mutito Wandei. But they do that to put you in low vibrational forces. Israel is not even near you. You don't need to know about that. Where's Muyahudi? That's something you have no idea about. Okay? Stop using your minds for things you're not supposed to. It's not so easy, but you can do it with practice. Practice gratitude around you. Practice gratitude. Be thankful for the things you have. You have a lot. You have peace in your country. Why do you have to care about other people? As a collective, they want you to be in low vibration. Okay? Why are we normalizing killing children and coming on TV like it's a very normal thing? That nation that is killing children, sahi hata ifai kuwa ikipewa limelight. Why are you listening to these people? Why don't you understand that these are psyops? These are things that are created, okay, intentionally, by design. Let me show you how. Quick one here. Let me show you how they do these things. Let me show you an example. 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 I don't even want to go into that. Just looking into that has taken me to another. Forget about that. Forget about the war. So it looks like there's no comment. Shout out to everyone commenting. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. Learning, each one teach one. I do love that. John Nails, Wendy, and everybody, positive vibes. Everyone communicating or chatting in the comments. That's very beautiful. That's how you do a live. That's how you do a live when you're interactive and you each one teach one. Sasa. So I'm going to end the live. We are about to go in 30 minutes. We'll be going into Cancer Hour. Cancer Hour is known as time. We were in Sodom and Gomorrah. So Cancer Hour is known as time. So I need to get ready for my baptism, 5:45, aka for the Kikuyus. You face the east, you call on Archangel Michael, 11:45. When I ask you a question and you don't know the answer, you look at Archangel Michael. I ask you something, you're like, I ask you, do you know? You're like, So you are looking at that alignment, 11:45, Archangel Michael, because you need help, aka the Noah's flood. Do have a beautiful day. Venus, Friday. Enjoy your holiday. We'll be coming back today, some other time. I may be coming later to dance. Be coming to dance for fans. I'll be coming to dance on TikTok for donations. I see people dancing for donations on TikTok. So I'll be coming to dance for donations later on TikTok. Okay? As a man, you do everything you have to do when you are passionate about your family. No shame. Ni sasa. Do have a beautiful day. Tayo.